Hello, it's October 3rd, and I just finished watching my third movie for this Horror Movie Marathon Fest 2016. After yesterday's movie, I needed something to wash my brain, so I went back to an old favorite, The Hitcher, from 1986. And it stars C. Thomas Howell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and the legendary Rutger Hauer. Uh, so, if there's anyone who doesn't know, this C. Thomas Howell plays a kid who's driving a car across the country. Um, he used this service called Drive Away, where um, people in different parts of the country need their car delivered to them, basically. So he's from Chicago, and he's been waiting for a car. He wants to drive to California, so he finally gets this car. He's driving. Anyway, he picks up a hitchhiker on his way. It's pouring rain. He sees this poor guy standing by the side of the road. So he stops and picks him up. And the hitchhiker is a crazy person. And this it just sets off this game of cat and mouse that gets pretty wild. I'm not going to say really too much more about it as far as the plot goes, but that's the setup. And I saw this movie in the theater, absolutely loved it, and I've watched it quite a few times. It's been a while though, so I wanted to watch it again just to get the Wicker Man out of my head. Um, this movie holds up. It's been remade. I have not seen the remake. The original was written by Eric Red, and the remake was written and directed by Eric Red, I believe. So I may have to watch it and compare. But this one, just fantastic. The performances are great, especially Rutger Hauer. The man is just, I've always been a big fan, and there are such nuances and subtleties to his performance. I'm not one for deeply analyzing movies or books or anything. I just want to be entertained. So maybe they're not so subtle, the things in his performance, if I picked up on them, but there are things that are there. The way he says certain things, and I don't want to give it away for anyone who hasn't seen it, but one line in particular that he says just has uh, deeper meaning than just what it appears to be or sounds like, whatever, how you want to put it. Um, so Rutger Hauer's performance, just phenomenal. C. Thomas Howell is great. Is this innocent kid, and we really don't even know anything about really any of the characters. Um, and we don't need to for what's going on in this movie. Um, Really, all we know about C. Thomas Howell's character is he's from Chicago and he wants to drive to California. We know nothing else about him. We know nothing about Rutger Hauer's character. Um, Jennifer Jason Leigh's character, we know she's related to some people in the area that most of this is going down in, but we really don't know much about her either. She's just an innocent that gets caught up in all of this. I mean, C. Thomas Howell's innocent as well, but she sort of gets dragged into what's going on with C. Thomas Howell and Rutger Hauer. So really, it's great to go back and watch a movie like this. Uh, it's maybe some of the hairstyles, a lot of the, there's pay phones and rotary phones, so there's that as far as um, showing us that this is a movie from 1986. But other than that, there's not a lot that dates this movie. Um, Aside from technology, I suppose, or the lack thereof, uh, it's not a very dated film. The even the clothing styles, a little dated, but not so much that you immediately go, oh, this is such and such a time. I guess the cars do it, but it holds up. I keep saying that. Um, and going back and watching this again for the first time in quite a while, I was surprised at some of the people that are actually in this movie. Uh, I only remembered the main three: C. Thomas Howell, Rutger Hauer, Jennifer Jason Leigh. But Armin Shimmerman is in this film. Probably best known for either Star Trek Deep Space Nine or Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know, he's done lots of other stuff. I've seen him in lots of other stuff. Those are probably, I would guess, his two biggest or most well known roles. Um, and then, oh, now I got to check. I had this all keyed up on my phone. I think it's Jeffrey DeMunn. Let me check. Pardon me for just, yes, Jeffrey DeMunn. Uh, Gotta be best known as Dale on The Walking Dead. Um, he's in a lot of Frank Darabont stuff. Um, I think everything that Darabont did that's based on Stephen King, Jeffrey DeMunn is in. So I was very surprised to see him. I wasn't, I didn't have his name in my head until The Walking Dead. He's one of those actors I see all the time. The Walking Dead sort of put him on my map, as it were, and to see him in this, it's just like it blows me away to go back, and I never would have guessed that Jeffrey DeMunn or Armin Shimmerman were in this movie. A couple other faces I vaguely recognized, but I even went through the cast list on IMDb, and they still didn't jump out at me. Although there's a lot, if you look at the cast list, there's a lot of people without pictures in the cast list. So this may be one of the few things they did. I don't know. But anyway, great cast. Uh, just a shocking story. There's a scene in this movie, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. If you've seen it, you're probably going to know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to give it away. But there is one part of this movie. When my friend and I saw it in the theater, we sat upright in our seats and just went, holy shit, I can't believe they just did that. And even knowing that it's coming, because I've seen it so many times, and that's the one scene that's always really stuck in my head, it's still a shocking scene. As for the rest of it, I remembered bits. I had some of it kind of jumbled, the order that things happened, a little jumbled in my head. A couple of lines that I thought I remembered, I had mixed up a little. But, man, yeah, I really should watch this more often because it's just a fantastic movie. And I'm going to, oops, I just screwed up what I had set up on my IMDb, so now you get to look at the top of my head. I wanted to look at the director's name. It's something Harmon. Got to give him credit. Robert Harmon. There you go. So directed by Robert Harmon, written by Eric Red, starring C. Thomas Howell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Rutger Hauer, the amazing Rutger Hauer. I would put this performance up there with his performance in Blade Runner. It's just, man, that guy's good in this kind of role. Just the subtle and at times not so subtle menace. And I don't know if I'm dipping into spoiler territory here. There's never really a clear explanation for why Rutger Hauer is doing what he's doing. And you could easily just, if you want to watch it, you can chalk it up to he's crazy. He's a psychotic or a sociopath, whatever you want to call him. But I think it doesn't take much to look a little bit deeper and analyze. And again, I don't like to look for all the little things and deeply analyze my movies that I watch. So again, it's not a very deep analysis, but you can find more to what's going on than just he's a crazy person. Certain motivations. I think, I could be completely wrong, but I think it's there. So I say watch it, and you can either just enjoy it as a thrilling, crazy movie, or you can go a little bit deeper and maybe pull out some things that may or may not be there. Again, I could be wrong, but there are layers to it. It's not just, I think, not just a straightforward thriller. I think there's a little depth to it. So anyway, that's it. That's the movie I watched for um, October 3rd. I guess, and I forgot to give a rating to um, The Wicker Man. I'm trying to block it out of my mind. But you know what? I'm not even sure that one deserves a rating. But this one, I'm giving this 10 French fries out of 10. 10 out of 10 French fries. Again, if you've seen the movie, you should know why that's the rating I'm giving it. And if you haven't seen the movie, why not? Watch it. This is a great flick, and then you'll know why I give it 10 out of 10 French fries. Um, excuse me. So that's it. The Hitcher, my third movie for this Horror Movie Marathon of Fest 2016. That's it, and I'll see you tomorrow.